Hey fellow explorers, we just got back from a family trip to Las Vegas, myself, OC Girl, and our 4-year-old daughter, the Curious Princess, so that we could make this video and find out how kid-friendly is Las Vegas really. Because that's a question I get all the time. Chris, do you think Las Vegas is appropriate for kids? What is there to do for kids? And so in this video, that's what I'm going to go through, talk about where Las Vegas is kids-friendly, where it isn't kids-friendly, because Vegas has gone through this pendulum over the years where, like, when it was originally established, Vegas was definitely a adults-only gambling destination, and then 80s and 90s and 2000s, Vegas really seemed like it was trying to become the next Disney destination. And then we saw a whole slew of hotels go the other way to be 21 and up. But now there's many hotels that are getting back into the kids' activities and attractions to bring families back into Vegas. And so on my list of things that I want to talk about today to answer this question, the first one that I want to talk about is where are kids allowed in Vegas and where are they not? And it turns out that kids are allowed in most places in Las Vegas, even in the casino. Well, sort of. When I say even in the casino, kids are allowed in the main walkways of the casino, and they're allowed to transit through the casino. They're not allowed to sit at the slot machines or at the games or, of course, play the games, but they are allowed to generally walk through. I often hear many Las Vegas first-timers tell me how surprised they were at how many kids and how many strollers they saw in the casino, maybe even ours. Now, what's kind of funny about the application of this rule of no kids hanging out in the casino is it's definitely applied differently across the different casinos. The casino in Vegas that I find to be the most strict about the rule of no kids in the main part of the casino is Circus Circus. That's right. And I think because Circus Circus has so many kids that are there, they are a little bit more militant about kids in the main walkways. But you know, we were walking around Resorts World all day, wandering in and around between the slot machines and whatever, and nobody said a word to us. Now, on the note of hotels, nearly every hotel in Las Vegas is cool with families. Families are is okay to stay in most hotels. Some are more family friendly than others, and we're going to talk through that in a bit if you've got kids and you want to go to the family friendly one, or maybe you don't like kids and you want to stay at the one that doesn't have kids. In that case, there are 2 hotels that kids or anyone under the age of 21, is a 20-year-old a kid? I don't know, but there are 2 hotels in Vegas that are 21 and up. The first one is the Circa Hotel, and the second one is the El Cortez. Both of them are in downtown Las Vegas. If you were deciding between the 2, Circa is the newer one and the nicer one. El Cortez, rundown one. I don't know. Are they doing this because they really want to be adults only? Are they doing this so that they can check IDs of everyone coming in to help them keep some of the vagrant population downtown out of the hotels because they don't have easy IDs to show as they come in the hotel? I don't know the answer. I'm just hypothesizing. But anyway, if you try to bring your kids to the Circuit and the El Cortez, there will be no dice on checking in. So skip those if you're traveling with kids. All right, let's talk about swimming pools. Swimming pools are an activity that kids just seem to love in Las Vegas. And our daughter was one of those kids who loved the swimming pool because Vegas pools are big and massive and grand and probably better than the swimming pool at your local YMCA. Now, some pools in Vegas do have sections that are adults only. Sometimes they're the day club portion of the swimming pool. That's really the place to drink while you're in water rather than it is to actually swim or frolic in water. Others, like at Caesar's Palace, they have a section of the pool that is it's a bar section of the pool, literally you can sit in the water and you can order at the bar. That section of the Caesar's Palace pool is 21 and up. But most pools, there's another one, about 95% of pools and pool areas are open to all ages. If you are looking for the most kids-friendly pool on the Las Vegas Strip, that's going to be the swimming pool at the Mandalay Bay. The Mandalay Bay has a gigantic wave pool with a big sandy area on it, and that is definitely kids zone right there. at Mandalay Bay, there are 3 hotels that share that pool: the Mandalay Bay, the Delano, and the Four Seasons, all in the same complex. Now, some hotels like Resorts World in Las Vegas also have a special family pool section where they just designate this section is for families. I mean, they don't really enforce it to be like, hey, if you don't have a family, you can't come here. But at the same time, if you don't, you might not want to hang out at the one that has all of the kids that are running around acting like crazy nuts. But Caesar's Palace was one that definitely did not have a family-only area because really the whole Caesar's Palace pool turns out to be much more of a day drinking scene than it does to be a wholesome pool scene. Hoarder Eric on the live stream points out a really good point, and I don't understand this one. Eric says, and by the way, Eric, I love your picture right there with the Welcome to Las Vegas sign, that the pools need to be open later. They do. The hours for the pools this past weekend in Vegas at Caesar's Palace and Resorts World, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They closed at 6 p.m. It doesn't get dark until like 8. Why do the swimming pools close at 6 p.m.? We checked into Resorts World at by the time we got there, it was like 5 o'clock. We got to our room. We wanted to go to the pool, but it closed. We had to go the next morning. Luckily, it did open early enough so that we could get in it, but I don't know why the pools aren't open longer. If anybody does know why they don't stay open longer, let me know. Eric says the same thing. Yeah, 6 p.m. is most pools besides the Circa. CW Style says the Flamingo also has a great family pool. Thank you for the tip on that, CW Style. I have not stayed at the Flamingo, but I could absolutely imagine that. I know the Flamingo has great flamingos to go see, which we did with the Curious Princess. And Ratharaz says the pool should be open to till at least 10. I agree with you. The Unforgiven said, heard that Fountain Blue was 21 plus. It is not 21 plus. Yes, we were just at the Fountain Blue. We were at the Fountain Blue this weekend. We walked around. I stayed at the Fountain Blue over New Year's. Fountain Blue is definitely not 21 plus. Also, pools, you should know that they are kind of seasonal things in Vegas, that if you are going in the winter, many Vegas hotels close their pools entirely or may make them tiny. So at Caesar's Palace, where there are maybe 6 pools, in the winter they might only just have 1 open. But it actually turns out that in winter it does get pretty cold, actually quite cold in Vegas, and it doesn't snow, but it can be so cold you don't want to be in the water, so you might not want to tell your kids they're going to spend a lot of pool time if you're going to Vegas in the winter. Yes, and Barris says some hotel pools double as bars. They do, and so I think if you're staying at a hotel that the pool doubles at a bar, then try to get there at 9 in the morning before all the day drunks come out. Star gives this answer. The pools close early due to possible drowning from drunk people. I asked. That is truly sad. But I also, I believe that. I also believe what Points Traveler says here, which is they close the pools early because they want you in the casino gambling. I believe that too, that the pools don't make the money. The pools are just, they're expensive. They employ the amount of lifeguards at Las Vegas pools is really impressive. They have a lot of lifeguards, no doubt, because there's a lot of people that are drinking. And so if they can save a couple hours of all those lifeguard costs and then get you back in to eat at the buffet or gamble, is great. Harry says, are there any heated pools in Vegas? I don't think there are. I think they're all unheated, just heated by the sun. But if somebody else knows if there is a heated pool, let Harry know. Stern also asks if there's any indoor pools in Vegas. I also don't think so. I think all of the pools that I'm aware of are outdoor pools in Vegas. Okay. So the other place that kids aren't allowed are what I would call the standard drinking, partying venues like nightclubs, day clubs, and bars. This would not be unique to Vegas. Any place you would go to, those generally are not super friendly places to kids. The weird part about Vegas, though, is that there are a lot of places that look like they should be friendly for kids based on their theming, or kids would look at it and be like, I want to go there, only to find out it's a bar. For example, this place, the I Love Sugar Candy Martini Bar that has all these pictures of gummy bears around there. You're like, you might look at that as a kid and be like, I want to go there, except it's a bar and it's 21 and up. This is in the Link Promenade. It's like a 2-story candy shop. The bottom floor is all candy, and the second floor is apparently a candy-themed bar. All right. The other interesting thing we had to explain to our daughter was we were walking around the strip, you know, and people carry these like gigantic margarita containers. She either thought they were Slurpees, because, you know, like the things are frozen margaritas, that she'd like a Slurpee, or she'd like some juice, which turns out they were neither. So we went to the ABC store and got her a bottle of orange juice rather than a 80-ounce margarita. The other place that can sometimes be seasonally 21 plus is downtown, the Fremont Street Experience. They have some special events that are 21 plus, including New Year's Eve. If you're going to Fremont Street for New Year's Eve, 21 plus for New Year's Eve at Fremont Street, though the main strip for New Year's Eve is all ages, and when I was there this year for New Year's Eve, plenty of people out with their kids in strollers, even though at 11:59 at night, many kids were conked out in the strollers. Maybe they woke up for the fireworks. Dustin says if you're looking for heated pools, a couple of the pools at the Bellagio are heated. Thank you for that tip. And Daniel says Circa's pool is heated too. The Unforgiven asks, what's your favorite pool? I do like the Bellagio pool. Bellagio has a really impressive pool complex. So does the Wynn. The Wynn has an impressive pool complex as well. We also recently just enjoyed Resorts World for the kids family section of the pool. Point Traveler says no 80-ounce margarita for the traveling princess. No, not yet. And those 80-ounce margaritas are definitely designed for the big kids. Lila says Tahiti Village has a great pool for kids. Thank you for the tip on that one. Okay. So another question that often comes up is how stroller friendly is Las Vegas? Because if you've got youngish kids, they generally can't walk miles a day, and so they like to be pushed around, or they need to be pushed around. And this question's not really just specific to kids, but also for people that are in wheelchairs or have mobility issues. The big challenge if you have a stroller in Vegas is that many of the main intersections, to avoid pedestrian and car crashes, cars running into people, they've elevated the crossing of the intersections over these pedestrian bridges, and to get up or down from the pedestrian bridges, they have escalators and elevators. And these escalators and elevators are very often out of service. Somebody Hoarder Eric says, let's open an escalator repair business in Vegas. I think of the escalators we went by on these bridges. So you figure if there's 4 bridges at the intersection to cross every street, and then that means there's, an up and down escalator on each side. Like, at any intersection, there would at least be some escalators out, and some elevators out too. So there were absolutely intersections that they were all broken, and I ended up having to carry the stroller down the stairs or up the stairs. So you will need to be able-bodied enough to do that, or try to find another intersection some way further away, or go around the other way. It is just something you need to be prepared for, that you won't be able to necessarily use the elevator or the escalator, and you will have to carry the stroller. Inside the hotels, they generally have ramps. Like, the hotels are all pretty wheel friendly. And if you were thinking of ditching the stroller, we took the stroller this time. We took the stroller the last time. We took the Curious Princess there when she was 2. For us, the stroller is really useful for nap time. If you have to plan around nap time and go back to the hotel for them to sleep, it's much nicer to be able to go out and they can sleep whenever they want to in the stroller. But also so is the car seat. So if you have a car, that might be another way of alleviating that. If you have a car, you might want to car between hotels, although the parking in Vegas is really, really expensive. Happily Ever Awkward says, as someone born and raised in Vegas, I do not take my daughter to the Strip. There's some things to do, but just not like how it used to be. Yeah, I can appreciate that. Happily ever awkward. To me, I also feel like the time of day and the day of the week make a big difference too. Like at noon on a weekday, I feel like the strip is pretty friendly. Obviously at like 10 p.m. on a Friday and Saturday, then it can get pretty rowdy. But happily ever awkward says, definitely always take a stroller. Soham says, hey Chris, is there a hotel on the strip you would recommend that doesn't have the smell of cigarettes? Let's talk about that for a moment. Yes, definitely one of the things that you or your kids might not enjoy is the smell of cigarettes or the smell of marijuana, since that is legal now in Nevada too. Although technically you're not supposed to smoke in public, people do. And yes, our daughter goes by that and goes like, "Oh, what is that smell?" As a 4-year-old would. So I would say that like the older hotels, the more center strip hotels, they smell of smoke more than the newer hotels and the hotels that are further away from the strip. For example, Caesar's Palace smells a lot of smoke. So does the Link, so does Harrah's, so does Paris, so does Flamingo. The ones that generally don't smell that much of smoke are the newer hotels like the Fontainebleau or Resorts World or the Wynn. The hotel that smells the least of smoke of the main strip hotels is the Park MGM, because the Park MGM is an entirely non-smoking hotel and casino. And so if you were looking for a breath of fresh air, the Park MGM is the place for you. Who's That Girl said the same thing. Thank you for that. And Michael Yip and Happily Ever Awkward. I'm glad we have a lot of Vegas experts on the stream today. Okay. Heinz Adventure says, kids should be off the street by 9 p.m. I mean, it's bedtime anyway. So yes, I agree with you. That's a good time to tuck it back into the hotel. All right, so let's talk about toilets for a moment. A great part about going to Vegas is there are plentiful clean restrooms not very far away. Every casino has restrooms that are nearby, so if you're on the strip, you are never more than a 5-minute walk from a big, clean restroom someplace. Now, that being said, there are not that many family restrooms, like the variety that you can like bring the whole family into, and there are certainly really no kiddie restrooms, like restrooms that are like specifically designed for like changing or like mother's rooms or things like that, because it's not really Disney, it's not really a theme park, it's not really like a shopping mall that's designed to attract parents. So while you'll find them big and clean and plentiful, you might not find them super conducive to like changing a dirty diaper. Star asks, what is the best Hawaiian food in Vegas? It definitely has to be Zippy's, because Zippy's just opened their first mainland location. And we ate there when we were there this past weekend. The Curious Princess really loved the spaghetti at Zippy's. Sering, thank you so much for your support. Are you in Vegas today? You tipped my hubby at McCarran Airport today. He didn't recognize you, but thought you looked familiar. He realized later it was you. Thanks so much for the generous tip. Sering, I appreciate that your hubby thinks it was me, but it was not I in Vegas today. So, but if I see your husband, I will give him a big tip, and I will hand him some Yellow Productions crew stickers. Thank you. Photo Walks TV says, my favorite moment from Las Vegas last week was visiting Bagel Mania. That's kids friendly. I did see, Jeff, thanks for joining, by the way. I did see your comment maybe on Facebook about like the bagels are really good. I've not eaten at Siegel's Bagel Mania over by the convention center, right? But maybe we'll have to check it out next time. So thank you for that tip. All right, and Dallas Cook says, everybody's standard of clean is different. Always bring your own sanitary wipes if you don't feel comfortable the way things were clean. Dallas, that's a great tip, too. Okay, Michael Yip says, what are we drinking today? Grizz is drinking an iced tea from In-N-Out Burger. All right. Couple suggestions for Hawaiian, Aloha Kitchen and Island Flavor and Lefty J Hawaiian food. Thank you for those local tips. And then Jeff says, of Bagel Mania, everything is bigger and supreme Vegas style. All right, that's good. I like big bagels. I could go for a big bagel sandwich. Okay. Let's talk about necessities and supplies. One of the things if you're traveling for kids is you're gonna need stuff. You're gonna need milk. You're gonna need things that you just didn't bring with you. And so a good part about staying around the Las Vegas Strip is there's like a Walgreens or a CVS or even a Target. Like it seems like nearly every block on the Las Vegas Strip. You will definitely want to skip the hotel gift shop because the hotel gift shop, everything there is overpriced, including the bottles of water that are gonna cost you $6. So head to Walgreens, CVS, or Target, or if you're near one of the ABC stores, there's 2 at Planet Hollywood. There's one over by the giant Coke bottle, and there's one in the Fremont Street Experience. Those are the best places to get inexpensive water, inexpensive snacks, bananas, those sorts of things, yogurt, things that you will need to nutriate, is that a word? Nutriized. Provide nutritious nutrients to your children. All right, there we go. I was not getting the right words. So Kathy saved me because she says she loves ABC stores. OC Girl was like, Chris, you must include this in your video. We have a whole like vlog that's coming up of the trip of the weekend soon, within the next week or two. But yes, we include the ABC stores in there in case ABC stores originally from Hawaii. And yes, you can buy Spam Musubi at the ABC stores in Las Vegas. Yes, Barra says, stock up on bottles of water and snacks at the local store. That's a good tip. We bring, because we drive in from Orange County, we bring like a Costco-sized thing of bottled water, and we bring little boxed milks. So that's what we do. But if you weren't driving in and you were like flying in and you had a rental car, stop by a Walmart or a Target or your supermarket of your choice and pick up those things there before you get to your hotel at the Strip. Michael Yip likes the ABC store at the Fashion Show Mall. A great location too. Lalila says, next time in Vegas, I need to do a vlog on all the good food places in Chinatown. On this trip, we did have like a noodle place in Chinatown, which was pretty good. Usually we don't spend a ton of time in Chinatown because Orange County has like tons of Asian food. So a lot of the things we could get in Vegas Chinatown, we could get back home. So we tend not to eat there all that much. But the noodle place that we ate at was pretty legit. Musad says, hey, I'm a longtime viewer. Can I visit the Grand Canyon West from Vegas? My flight will land 1 p.m. on May 5th. Yes, you can. It is a 2.5 hour drive to visit Grand Canyon West from Las Vegas. If you haven't watched it yet, I 2 weeks ago just put out a whole guide video on Grand Canyon West. Check it out. Grand Canyon West, Yellow Productions. It'll float right to the top. Maurice says hi. Hi, Maurice. Okay. So let's talk about some things to be aware of walking the Strip. And so there's been comments about this, about like how late should you keep your kids out? What should you avoid? What should you be aware of? What I think like probably one of the concerns that parents might have about walking around the Strip is just the scantily clad people on the Strip. There's showgirls, there's what are they called? I don't know. Male dancers as well. Whatever you would call them. People that are wearing very little clothing, but of course you will see people with very little clothing at the swimming pool too. So I don't know that that's a huge difference of the Strip versus the pool. Certainly people get concerned about the people on the Strip who stand there and do this with different cards than just a white thing. They call them the porn slappers because they're handing out the cards like girls straight to your door. The thing is, on this trip, the number of people that were on the Strip doing that and handing us cards was this many. 0. Not a single porn slapper while we were there this past weekend. Where'd they all go? I don't know, but they weren't on the Strip, any of them, while we were there this time. I think one of the things to also be aware of Are the characters, the people who hang around on the strip, dressed up as like Elmo or Superman or Disney characters or Olaf to take pictures? Because they're there to make some money. Your kids don't know any better that those pictures are going to cost you a lot of money. And so it's like, oh, I want to go take some pictures of Olaf. And you're like, no, it's not Disneyland. And then your kids want to take a picture and you get suckered into it. And then Olaf is like, that'll be $20 for the picture. So I think it's important to like explain right away that that's not the real Mickey Mouse. That's not the real Minnie Mouse. Or if it is the real Minnie Mouse to you, just be prepared to shell out quite a bit as a tip to take that photo. And then we heard someone say, get in by 9 p.m. Yes, I think when the real party animals come out late at night, that's when you should be back in your hotel room for sure. Gary says the porn slappers were the seediest element for me. I agree. And then the litter all over the strip from the porn slappers. Todd says I really dislike them. I don't know if anybody likes them. I do think that some of like who likes them? The guys that are there on like a bachelor party, like find it really fun to like collect all the cards. Maybe that was something from like the Hangover movies or something like that. Get your like deck of porn slapper cards. Yes. Style says, aren't the half-naked girls doing $100 for a pic? I bet they are charging quite a bit. And so, yes, that is one where, like, negotiate a picture right away. Though your kids probably are going to want to take the picture more with Minnie than they are with the the half-naked girls. Comments, they just tell the kids it's really Ursula in disguise. Yeah, James points out about this one. The monks are just as bad. More monks. So there were more monks on the strip than any of the other categories this weekend. What are the monks? So people who dress up as monks and then they have some meditation charm or some bracelet or something like that to give you. I had to turn away numerous amounts of bracelets or charms from the new monks on the strip. So if you see someone walking at you, coming at you on the strip and they look like a monk, just put the hand out, seek to the hand, because the face ain't listening. I don't want any. This is, Makliep also gives a good point. Walking down the strip, it is better to walk on the side with the nicer resorts versus the less nice resorts. So the side that has Caesar's Palace is nicer than the side that has the Flamingo. I think that is a great point as well. And I think in front of the nicer resorts, they tend to like patrol the areas a little bit better too. And yes, the sidewalks are a little bit wider. Kathy says, I would rather meet the real Mickey at Disneyland. And G-Town Monarch says the costume characters cost more like $40. That is super, super crazy. All right. Let's talk about kids' menus. What about food? Is there a lot of food for kids to eat in Vegas? And I think the food for kids is plentiful in Vegas. Many Vegas restaurants have kids' menus. This is us eating at Zippy's, the famous Hawaiian diner, their first location there. Do you think the Curious Princess has enough food in front of her? I'll let you be the judge of whether she has enough food in front of her. But when we sat down, they put a kids menu in front of her and gave her some crayons. And so I would say that that's an experience that many of the lower to mid to even upper mid restaurants on the strip, when you get to like the super high end things, then the kids menus tend to go away. Like we ate at Peter Luger Steakhouse, and we wanted to order fries, and they're like, well, if you order a burger, you can get the fries for $5, but if you don't order a burger, then the fries are $17. I'm like, $17 for some fries? I guess bacon and steak it is for all of us then, you know. Alex says it's never enough food when you're a kid. Gary says that's a good feed. Style by Chrissy says circus for the kiddies. Yes, people ask, where are the cheap buffets? If you want your kids to have a cheap buffet experience, circus, Excalibur, those are definitely going to be home to like the feeding trough type buffets where you can get a lot of food for cheap. Jenny Fide says that ramen at Zippy's looks incredible. That is Simon in particular, which, yes, indeed does look like a ramen. It is the Hawaiian confluence of ramen plus kind of like Chinese wonton style soup. Like you put those together, and that's the bowl that you get. Yes, both the Curious Princess, she loved the spaghetti from Zippy's and also the Simon noodles. Okay. There's also tons of fast food. If you're looking for the quintessential fast food in Vegas, even on the Strip, there is a location of In-N-Out Burger. You will find In-N-Out Burger at the Link Promenade. No, we did not eat there while we were there. We actually, right next door, there's a pizza place that we ate at. And, okay, I should say, the Curious Princess ate a sliced cheese pizza place next door. And then OC Girl and I, we ate poke or sushi burritos from Jaw Burritos right across the way. That was pretty good. Aloha Danica says, Sammy in! I mean Simon Yum. Very good. That's the spelling correct for you right there. Sean says, what's your favorite Vegas hotel of all time? Top 2, Wynn and the Venetian. There you go. Kathy says we went past that In-N-Out. That In-N-Out has some unique merchandise. If you're looking to pick up an In-N-Out burger, sure. They sell one in particular that has the Link Ferris wheel on it. You can't get anywhere else other than in Vegas. Okay. Dallas says, would you recommend places off the Strip versus over the Strip for the price of quantity and quality? Yeah, absolutely. Everything on the Strip costs more. Even the In-N-Out Burger on the Strip costs more. So if you want quantity and price, it's going to be off the Strip. Quality, like the Strip has some really good quality food, like legitimately. So, but you're definitely going to get better value if you get off the Strip. Alex says, don't forget to stop at the Ghirardelli Soda Fountain for delicious milkshakes. Those are always great. Harry asks if I've tried Irv's Burgers at the Durango. No, I did check it out when I was there over New Year's time. Like, it looked good, but no, I haven't eaten it. Has anybody on the stream tried Irv's Burgers? If so, let Harry know. Okay, let's talk about hotel choices. Ones that are more kids-friendly versus ones that are less kids-friendly. And I already told you there's two that are 21 and up, the Circa and the El Cortez in downtown Vegas. Barring those, going on the other way, like what are the hotels that are the kids friendliest? Certainly Circus Circus, the home of the circus. And yes, the Princess, it's like, is that the circus? Is that the circus? We're like, well, how do we explain that it's a circus that has carpet that probably hasn't been replaced since the 1960s. It's a really unique spot. There's no animals that are in there, but there are the tightrope acts. So Circus Circus, kid-friendly. Excalibur, also very kid-friendly. Luxor, the hotel that's the pyramid, kid-friendly. As we were driving on the Interstate 15 into Vegas, the Princess, she sees the Excalibur. And we were staying first at Caesar's Palace, and we told her we were staying in a palace that was a Roman palace by an emperor. And she sees the Excalibur, and she's like, is that the palace we're staying at? That's a palace. I mean, for kids, that's legitimately like a really cool looking hotel. The Luxor is the pyramid, Egyptian theme. That one's pretty cool. And then I think after that, Mandalay Bay and Four Seasons within Mandalay Bay. Four Seasons is known to be like a super friendly kids resort. So if you want luxury and kids friendly, it's going to be the Four Seasons. Now, it is worthwhile to mention that Strip hotels rarely have refrigerators for personal items. They have mini bars, but very rarely do they have space for you to put your stuff. And they also never have a microwave. The newer Strip hotels are putting in refrigerators. So at Resorts World, you will find, in addition to the minibar, a refrigerator. Also at Fountain Blue, you will find refrigerators as well. And at Fountain Blue, they will also bring you a microwave to your room if you just request it for free. But if you want like more of a kitchen type experience, then families might want to consider going a little bit off the Strip to someplace like the Residence Inn or the Homewood Suites or a Hyatt Place, where you'll have a fridge and a microwave and maybe even a stove. And of course, you'll have a free breakfast at all those places too. Breakfast in Vegas is like, I don't know why there's not more cheaper, quicker, faster breakfast options. Like, it seems like the quintessential breakfast in Las Vegas now has turned into Starbucks. Like, every big strip hotel has a Starbucks in it, and the Starbucks is where everybody gets their super overpriced coffee. Like, the coffee is like 3 times the price of a normal Starbucks, and so are the pastries, and the line is like out the door and around the corner. We tend to pick up some desserts or pastries or something like the night before someplace and eat it in our room the next morning. Another option, if you are looking on the strip and you want to be able to cook, is Marriott's Grand Chateau. It's like a timeshare style hotel. There's also some Hilton type of timeshare hotels that will have full kitchens as well. But breakfast on the strip is going to cost you a fair bit. Kathy points out that they had a full kitchen in their timeshare when we stayed in Las Vegas. That is the pro of the timeshare. If you're looking to have breakfast that you want to cook yourself. Brandon says breakfast seems non-existent in Las Vegas. It does indeed. So this trip, this is Caesar's Palace. We stayed at Crockford's in Resorts World, and Crockford's is the high-end hotel at Resorts World. What was super nice is in the lobby, they had a continental breakfast. I mean, it was not amazing, but it was like a spread of fruits and croissants and a couple different types of pastries and coffee, but it was like, ooh, now I can get it, and it's easy. What a concept. As opposed to at Caesar's Palace, we like would order on the Starbucks app for the Starbucks that was downstairs from our room, but the coffee or the order would still not be ready for like 25 minutes after we placed the order on the app. I mean, that's like how crazy busy that Starbucks is. But Style by Chrissy says, a liquid breakfast is available all the time and everywhere. Amazing how that works. Yes, you get up at 9 in the morning and you see plenty of people already at the hotel bar with their Bloody Mary or things like that. Professor Fear says, isn't there an egg sandwich place in the Cosmopolitan for breakfast? Yes, my 2 favorite breakfast sandwich places in Vegas. 1 is Egg Slut at the Cosmopolitan, really delicious. 2 is Suns Out, Buns Out at Resorts World, pretty good. Jeff Graham, who might still be here, but he was here earlier, also mentioned the bagels at Siegel's, Bagel Mania. The Grand Lux Cafe inside of Venetian and Palazzo are also a great place to eat with the family. A great tip as well. Gary says, I love a Bloody Mary breakfast. Collegeville loves it. Included breakfast can save so much money, especially when a coffee is going to cost you $7 or $8. Jeffy says, the Venetian has great breakfast spots that are open in the morning. I agree with you, Jeffy, that the Venetian as a resort does seem to have some of the most breakfast options in it in general. And Points Traveler says, hey, if you want to get a fridge in your room for free, tell the front desk you're a diabetic and you need a fridge in the room. That will get you one. Hikanuki says, Vidara has a fridge and microwave. All right, thank you. And Boots on the Ground seconded Vidara. And Points Traveler says, if you have not already, please give this video a thumbs up. Really helps out me. Lets YouTube know you enjoy this video so that YouTube can spread it to more people. Let's go ahead and share the Yellow Productions wealth, shall we? All right. And by that, I don't mean all the money that I have, because I don't really have that much money. By that, I mean the wealth of information that we have here in this community. Hoarder Eric says, or just go to Walmart and get a $20 coffee maker and bring it with you. There we go. We can do that too. Bosco says, we have packed a hot plate and a small pan in our luggage and a small collapsible cooler. All right, that is being creative. Jordog says, I went to the Peppermill restaurant for breakfast. Great. Hopefully you were staying like close to it. You could just walk over there. All right. What about kids clubs? People ask me this question a lot. To be like, hey, Chris, are there any like kids clubs in Vegas, in the Vegas hotels? And I think that this question comes from people who do a lot of cruising or who stay at a lot of all-inclusive resorts. Kids clubs on cruises or at all-inclusive resorts are generally places you can like drop off your kids to be like babysitting services for the day. And the answer is there are no kids clubs on the Las Vegas Strip where you can drop off your kids and leave them there for a while to be supervised. The closest thing on the Strip is the Four Seasons Hotel. It does have a babysitting service that will come to your room and babysit your kids, obviously for fair bit of change. The other option, there is this chain of drop-in babysitting services They have 5 locations in Vegas. One of them is at the Red Rock Casino. Some are at a couple of the station casinos. You can have them babysit your kids for up to 5 hours for $14 per hour. They take kids from 30 months and up, so no infants. All right, that's your options if you want to find kids club for 5 hours or less. Now, I think one of the most important things to have like a great trip with the kiddos, regardless of whether they're big or small, is to plan for giving in and giving them some time for the things they want to do. In the case of the Curious Princess, that would be toy stores, which might include getting a toy to make it more memorable. She got this squishy cat thing that was then a fun pool toy to play at the pool the next day. Or if they're older, maybe they want to visit the arcade. And while a bunch of arcades have closed in the past, they're being reopened. There's a roller coaster at the New York. There's tons of fun things to do for kids, but make sure your kids every day always have something they can look forward to. Including lots of free shows. You know, even the Sphere now has like fun things for kids. Like the Sphere had this thing where it looked like a Muppet or something like that. There's the Bellagio fountains, there's the volcano, and you know, you can even make getting around fun. Like the Las Vegas monorail, it's pretty fun to ride around. There's also the Aria Express, the tram that goes from Park MGM to Aria to Bellagio. That's what we're waiting for right here. And there's also a monorail train that goes from Excalibur to Luxor to Mandalay Bay. The Las Vegas monorail costs you money. These other two that I talked about, the Aria Express and the one that goes from Mandalay Bay to Excalibur, those are both free and a fun ride. And so really overall, to answer the question, so how kid-friendly is Las Vegas really? Having been to a lot of destinations, I actually think Las Vegas is a really kid-friendly destination. Sure, there are some things you have to watch out for and maybe keep the kids all protected from, but I think overall kids can have a great time visiting Vegas. The Curious Princess has loved both of her trips there. I've grown up going to Vegas since I was a kid, and look, I've turned out at least reasonably normal. Okay, there's some comments in the chat about other things that are great to do in Vegas. Kathy points out the Pinball Museum. Sering says the pinball place on the Strip. Ernest says it was great running into you this weekend at the Bacchanal Buffet. It was great running into you too, Ernest. We had a table at the Bacchanal Buffet that was right next to the dessert buffet. Like when I say right next to, I mean like right next to the desserts. And so in the 90 minutes we were there, I think like 7 or 8 different fellow explorers came up to be like, we love your videos, can we take a selfie? And so Ernest, it was great to meet you too. And anybody else who came up and said, hey, I gave out a lot of Yellow Productions Crew stickers this past week. Before I go to Q&A, I want to run through this like super quick list of things that you might want to do with your kids, whether they're young or whether they're maybe even older in the preteen area. So this is going to be super fast and furious, and I'm going to read it just to get to this list over here. This was originally sent to me by Gilberto, and I've been adapting it over time, and eventually I'm going to film these things and make a best things to do in Las Vegas with kids. But here we go. At Mandalay Bay, the Shark Reef Aquarium with the free train we already talked about, the Pinball Hall of Fame Museum, the Big Apple roller coaster at New York, New York, the Hershey's chocolate store at New York, New York. In the Bellagio, there's a really cool conservatory, botanical garden. At the Horseshoe, there's a dinosaur safari and an arcade over there. The Eiffel Tower at the Paris has an observation deck on the top. The Stratosphere has a big observation deck on top, as long as a bunch of rides up there too. The big Coca-Cola bottle, the M&M store, the Rainforest Cafe is a neat restaurant to eat at. At the Venetian Hotel, the canals are fun to see. The singing gondoliers ride the gondolas. Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. The high roller Ferris wheel at the Link. At the Flamingo, the wildlife habitat for flamingos. The volcano at the Mirage. The Avenger Station, the Marvel Avenger Station over the Treasure Island. The Lake of Dreams show at the Wynn, whole bunch of stuff at the Circus Circus, including the Adventure Dome theme park in the back, Area 51, everything there, like lots of great VR stuff. Omega Mart's fun for kids. The Fremont Street Experience for the overhead show. There's a Discovery Children's Museum down there too. And if you're looking for some fun day trips, we did the Valley of Fire State Park on this trip, which had some really neat hikes. There's also Red Rock, Hoover Dam, and a cool thing called the 7 Magic Mountains that I posted a short about just over the weekend too. Kathy says, great list. Thank you for the second. And now let's go to Q&A.
Fellow explorers, it is now Q&A time. If you've got a question, I've got an answer.
All right, fellow explorers, what questions do you have about Vegas with kids, or even, Chris, what is the meaning of life? I'll go ahead and answer questions like that too. Sam said, I loved the big pirate ship as a kid. Too bad it's gone. At the Treasure Island Hotel, the TI, which is now back to the Treasure Island again. Yes, there was a really cool pirate show there. The ships are still there. You can still see the ships, but the show itself is gone. Michael says Avengers Station has closed or is preparing to. I have heard that, so it's probably going to be gone off this list. Jenny Fide says Valley of Fire is amazing. Daniel says, how fun is the Adventure Dome for kids? I think it's pretty fun. I think it's a pretty neat place back there. The air quality isn't really great because I wish Circus Circus had better air conditioning, but I think it's kind of a fun amusement park with rides. What's my favorite sit-down restaurant? So many choices. Grand Lux Cafe is my favorite sit-down restaurant. I know it's not high-end, but I really like the food at Grand Lux Cafe. So there we go. Professor Fear says, what is the meaning of life? I'm going to go with 42. 42. How's that sound? Meritocratic Mafia says, have you tried new buffets in Vegas? This time we revisited the Bacchanal Buffet at Caesar's Palace, which continues to be very good. Traveling Fool says, your recent Grand Canyon video inspired me to book 6 nights in the campground. It was quite a bit cheaper than nearest day. I bet it was. Traveling Fool, how was the campground? Did you enjoy it? Daniel says, what is the worst place in Vegas to take kids to? I mean, certainly there's the places you could take them to that, what's the word I'm looking for? That they're not allowed into, so those are bad places to take them to. But I think there's a lot of pretty seedy parts of downtown Vegas. So we have generally, like, on these past couple trips, avoided downtown with the Curious Princess. Aaron says, any dessert recommendations in Vegas? We really like the bakery at Caesar's Palace, Dominique Ensel. It's from New York, the creator of the Cronut. I think they're really pretty good. So there you go. That's our top one. Kanuki says, Pizza Rock or Evil Pie. I don't know that I've sampled them close enough to each other. They're both good, but I haven't, I need to eat them this one on Tuesday and this one on Wednesday to get the taste test to tell you which one I think is immediately better. For those not in the know, those are generally regarded as 2 of the best pizza places in Las Vegas. My dad, Electric Rick, says, how many fans recognized you on this trip? Over the weekend, I would probably put the number somewhere at 40 or something like that. We had a lot of encounters with fellow explorers, which was always super amazing. Jerry says, is it okay to walk around the strip with kids? I feel like people judge you pretty heavy if you do. I don't know. We walked around with our daughter around the strip for a whole weekend, and maybe I just usually feel judged because I'm wearing a yellow shirt, but I did not feel that way. So, her favorite thing during the trip was definitely the swimming pool, in particular the swimming pool at Resorts World, because the swimming pool at Resorts World had the family pool. The family pool at Resorts World, and not just the family pool, but the whole pools, have a whole bunch of sections that are only 10 inches deep, which is super perfect for kids. Frankly, super perfect for adults if you're just kind of lounging around and waiting. But we did the pools at Caesars and we did the pools at Resorts World. The Resorts World one being better. Okay. Jason says, do you think HyperX Arena at Luxor is good for kids? It's like an esports lounge. So, I mean, if your kids want to go and play those sorts of video games, then sure. Though for me, I feel like those sorts of video games your kids can just play at home on their computer. That's my opinion as what used to be a pretty avid PC gamer. I still enjoy PC games now and then. And I've never understood the appeal of these esports gaming lounges, because I feel like if you have a computer at home, you can play games. Why do you need to go someplace else to play them? Daniel asks if I've ever tried SW Steakhouse at the Wynn. No, not yet. Sam asks if I've ever been to the Hoover Dam. Been to, parked, looked around, have not been inside. I'd like to do the tours inside, but I've not gone inside. Bosco says the Neon Museum is cool. Thank you for that, Bosco. The Neon Museum needs to be on my list of things to do. As a question if I got to try Mother Wolf on this recent visit. No. Star says, please do an eat around the world in Vegas. Okay, that sounds like an interesting concept. Okay. Justin Time says, Adventure Dome is the best place for kids in Vegas. And Michael Yip says, it's a shame the Tigers are gone at the Mirage. Go-to roulette number definitely has to be 27. There we go. More iced tea. Yeah, Justin Time says Grimaldi's Pizza inside Palazzo has a solid pizza place. Better than Pizza Rock, in my opinion. Just in time, if I want to go to a sit-down place and get a whole pizza, I really like the Grimaldi's Pizza, too. If you don't know the Grimaldi's fame, Grimaldi's originates from New York City. They are coal-fired pizzas, and so I think Grimaldi's has a pretty legit pizza. I also really like the pizza at New York Hotel. It's called, like, Sirico's or Sirocco's. They have a square pan Sicilian pizza, and next to that, there's a Jewish deli that has really good pastrami sandwiches. On this trip, we just found in Resorts World, Junior's has opened, which is a famous Jewish deli cheesecake place from Brooklyn, New York, and they also have a really solid pastrami, corned beef, Reuben sandwich, sauerkraut, Russian dressing, really quite tasty as well. Daniel asks if I like the Las Vegas Loop. I have not yet ridden the Las Vegas Loop. That's the underground Teslas that'll take you around the convention center and over to Resorts World and a couple other stops. I don't know. Has anybody ridden the Las Vegas Loop with Teslas to go to the convention center? Let me know. I'd be curious. Harry asks if I think Area 15 is good for kids. I think if you as an adult want to go to Omega Mart, I think your kids would probably have fun at Omega Mart too. There's some other like selfie type museums or immersive museums that I think kids would like there too. You could probably spend, so we took the princess there last trip when she was 2-ish, and she enjoyed just spending an hour around the place. It's so interesting and immersive, and lights and black lights and all that stuff. We didn't even spend any money to go in anything. If you've got older kids and they get to a point where they're not just content with like looking at cool things, then I think there's absolutely a lot of fun activities there. There's also a lot of like adults only just drinking activities at Area 15, so that's probably the place that you'll want to pick the earlier time of day to go there rather than the last time of day to go there. Daniel said the pools in Vegas good for swimming. Not really. I don't think so. I think they're really designed more for just like hanging out in and splashing around in. I don't think there's really any good, at least as far as the big strip hotels. Maybe they're good for swimming if you get there at 9 in the morning right when they open before everybody else has gotten there. But once they're full of people, then I think those people just end up being obstacles for you to run into. Jerry says, how long is the drive from Vegas to the Seven Magic Mountains, and is it a quick stop, or are there other attractions around it? Seven Magic Mountains is 20 miles outside of the Las Vegas Strip, so figure 25 minutes driving or so outside of Vegas. There is nearly nothing else around it. The only thing that's kind of nearby within a 5-minute drive is the Terrible's Chevron, which is the largest gas station in Nevada. It has over 100 gas pumps, and it has a gigantic mini mart. It's like an attraction in and of itself, but that's what's around there. There's nothing else around there. Meritocratic Mafia says, will the high-speed rail ever be built between LA and Vegas? Well, I guess they're doing Brightline from Victorville or something to Vegas, and I don't. Until that actually gets to like downtown LA or something like that to connect with Amtrak or someplace useful, I don't see it being very, very popular. Professor Fear has taken Loop and said it was very useful when he was at a large convention in Vegas. Very cool. Thank you for that report. James says, I take it the traveling princess had a curious experience on her first visit to Vegas. Turns out this is her second. But yes, she had a positive experience on both trips. And Stern says, to second that the pools are not great for swimming. They are for standing in and drinking, maybe splashing around too. Elias says, oh, the train's going to get all the way to Rancho Cucamonga. Yeah, okay. I mean, at least still you don't have to drive up the Cajon Pass, but Rancho Cucamonga is still not very close for many people. Tracy says the fun dungeon in Excalibur is pretty good, and good pie in the Arts District is so good. Thank you for those 2 tips, Tracy. And Geral says, I believe they just broke ground on the train, but it's going to take this. CW Style asks if the flyover in Las Vegas is kids friendly. I've not been on flyover. I know I talked about it in one of my What's New videos, but I've not actually been on it myself. It's kind of like a Soarin' over California type thing. So I don't know. Michael says, not a question exactly, but if walking the strip, consider the legs of your younger children that no longer need a stroller. The distance can be very long, especially in the heat. I agree, Michael. Like it is, Vegas distances are deceiving. You know, you look at something and you're like, it's just 1 block or 2 blocks to get over there. Except it turns out that 2 blocks, you just like walk and you walk and you walk and you walk and you walk and then you walk some more and you're still not there. And like, yeah, in April, it was in the high 90s. Like, I mean, my 100, like on the day we left, it clocked 100 on my car thermostat, temperature sensor, thermometer when we were leaving. Daniel says you should record new things in Vegas every 6 months. Maybe I should. I know that Travel Ruby, she does like a monthly what's new in Vegas. I don't know, once a year. It's pretty good cadence for me. Then I got a lot of new things to talk about. Jason, this is how pricey is the Bacchanal buffet now. It is if you include tax, it's about $100 for adults for dinner. So what, 80 something is the actual price. And right now, La Lila says it is 79 degrees in Vegas. Toasty for 8:30 p.m. in the evening. Jenny Fide says, you are right. Vegas distances are deceiving. Sam says, is Thunder Down Under good? You would have to ask somebody who's seen Thunder Down Under. If anybody has, help a friend out and let Sam know. Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and do this.
Yes, it's the time you've been waiting for. It's time for the giveaway.
All right, fellow explorers, in every Yellow Productions video, I always give away a Yellow Productions crew shirt, and in this video, I'm giving away one if you can answer one of my questions. What is my question to you? My question to you is earlier, I showed a picture of a restroom in the toilet section. My question for you is twofold. What hotel was that restroom at? And what was hanging above the urinals? If you can answer those 2 things on the same line, then you will win that Yellow Productions crew shirt shipped to you anywhere in the world. If you don't get to win one, you can pick one up at the Yellow Productions shop. Might even be some things down below this video too. If you wonder when is the next live stream, you can head over here to the Yellow Productions update and I will let you know when and what the next live stream is going to be about.
And now we have a winner chicken dinner.
Congratulations to Michael Yip. You are the first one to say Resorts World and Disco Balls. So send me an email to chris@yellow-productions.com. Let me know your size and where you want that shirt to go. You'll find that email in the description. Second place goes to Panjo, though slightly misspelled, but close. Daniel gets number 3rd, but Michael goes in for the win. All right, well, fellow explorers, it's always a pleasure to hang out with y'all. Thanks for sharing the time with me. Thanks for sharing some fellow tips about Vegas with kids with your fellow explorers. As usual, I won't say goodbye because I'm going to see you in the next video.